What's happening, everyone? And welcome to a very special edition of Al Chile, man. It's fight week. Canelo versus Berlanga. I'm here with Julian with Off the Ropes Boxing and MMA. Julian, what's happening, man?
Not much, my man. It's an exciting day. Of course, I'm repping the team today. Freaking Broncos play today, of course, opening day of football. But hey, like you said, it's fight week, man. It's Canelo week. Freaking Puerto Rico versus Mexico. We're all ready to go here. I'm pretty sure all the Mexicans are excited for this one. Even the haters are going to be watching this one.
That's for sure, man. And you're right. It's Mexico versus Puerto Rico. And my Boricua friends, you're going to have to forgive me if I get a little tribal and talk a little chit, because damn, I'm feeling good. And I'm glad that rivalry's back, to be honest with you, man. We're here. Edgar Berlanga is going to be taking on the legendary Saul Canelo Alvarez. And as y'all know here at El Chile, we've been tracking the legendary career of the great Saul Canelo Alvarez for many years. We were the first to say that he's got the best resume in boxing. We were the first to say that he's the greatest fighter of this generation online before it became publicly acceptable. And now, man, it's just cruise control. He's just adding to his legacy, and now he's fighting Edgar Berlanga. And I want to talk about Mexico versus Puerto Rico. Now, Julian, we've been watching boxing for a long time, man, and this is a great rivalry. It hasn't been as prominent as it used to be, right? It was more prominent many years ago, but there's still been some good fights, right? Now, officially, the record of Mexico versus Puerto Rico is 84-72 in world title fights. So Puerto Rico has a slight advantage. Now, according to my notes, people are going to count this fight, Mexico versus Puerto Rico, Canelo versus Berlanga. It's going to count, right? So they're counting
they should.
Berlanga. They should. Yes, they should. What do you have to say about this rivalry? Any thoughts?
It's always been fun, Trinidad. Yeah, Trinidad. You had Cotto, Puerto Rico, repping out, hardcore back in the early 2000s, and, from there, you had our boys, De La Hoya, Vargas, freaking doing our thing against their boys too, Eric Morales fighting, Puerto Ricans, Barrera fighting Puerto Ricans, I could just go on with it, but the rivalry's just been there, it's always been there. Yes, like you said, it's not so up to par, as it's been, because of course, everything going on in boxing and all the politics going on in boxing. But like I said, it's still. I think this week's gonna be pretty hot, man. It's already sold out. It's already selling out, and people are gonna go and people are gonna watch. I don't give a damn who you are. We're gonna follow this fight just like we did Floyd Mayweather, and people are gonna do the same thing with Canelo this weekend.
Oh, that's true, man. This last week there was nothing to watch yesterday, right? And you felt it.
Nope.
So you're telling me the face of boxing is gonna be fine next week, and you ain't gonna watch it? Like, you're gonna be watching one way or the other. That's for sure, man. And I'll tell you this, dude. I've liked this rivalry, and as far as like this world title record goes, like I've only seen Puerto Ricans bring it up, and all I got to say to that is, it is impressive what a little island has done, and that they have the lead in this world title fights. But if we're being honest, Puerto Ricans haven't really been in the world title picture like to a full extent for a very long time. So it's hard for us to make it up, right? Because we're fighting at the world title level, and they just only got what do they got? Like one champion at the minimum weight, something like that. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just keeping it in perspective. You know what I mean, Julian?
Yeah, Oscar Kalal is a good kid, though. I have a lot of respect for that kid. It doesn't matter where he's at, but he showed me respect, so I got to show him the same respect too.
Hey, I got respect for the Boricuas too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I'm glad that Canelo is Mexican. I think that the Puerto Ricans would be very proud to have somebody as good as Canelo be Puerto Rican, and he supports his country. Canelo is, you see a Mexican flag in almost all of his pictures, man. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down memory lane a little bit. I want to talk about Canelo versus Puerto Rico in general. Now, the first fight goes back to 2010, man. And this might have been the first time that people saw Saul Canelo Alvarez. Okay, Julian, is this the first time you saw Canelo?
Yeah, actually it was. He was a dang good. To me, he was a green fighter. At the time, and to a point where in difference when he fought Cotto, like that was just a whole different level fighter, from this point, from this fight, from to that point, from that fight to that fight.
Yep, was he like 19, something like that? He was super
I think
young.
20, something like that.
Yeah, 147 pounder. I'd never seen him, right? This was on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather versus Mosley. And this is when the hate began too, we could talk about it for a second. Canelo ultimately goes undefeated against Puerto Ricans. We know this, right? Yeah. But in his very first fight, he got chin checked. He recovered, but that's when the hating started, Julian, if you remember.
Yes, I do. That's when everybody said, well, he's gonna go down eventually, to a better fighter, and like everybody was saying, well, Cotto will take him out, all these other fighters will take him out at 147, at the time. It's like, come on, bro, like the dude. After that point, I mean, has the guy really been dazed or phased?
You're right. And the other thing I gotta say, bro, is like, okay, and I also understand and I agree because I started off as a Canelo hater, so I also agree with the sentiment that they called that fight a little too early, in my opinion, but it was going that way. Like I think it was going to go that way, but they did call that fight just a little too early. So I get it, but you know what? Everybody has their moment where they start respecting the great Saul Canelo Alvarez because he is the greatest fighter of this generation. And if you
Exactly.
disagree, put up a name. I'd love to hear it. I certainly would. All right. So now
Yeah,
let's
me
go to
too.
2011. But a year later, like 20 years old, he's now a defending 154-pound champion. He goes up against Kermit Cintron in
Central.
Mexico. Yep, on an HBO kind of after dark type of
Yeah,
special.
yeah, I remember that. I
Yeah,
remember that
man.
fight. And
Uh,
he took it to Kermit Cintron though.
he sure
And
did. And
he,
you know what? And Kermit Cintron looked like he was there to win. Like he looked like he was ready to try to whip
oh
some
no,
ass.
no, he was in shape. Don't get me wrong, that
Yeah.
dude was in shape, but he wasn't ready for the attack, the body attack that Canelo gave him that night.
No.
And that's what started it, pretty much for me, and that's what pretty much ended Kermit's, that night. And I mean it's Canelo just working, learning the game at that point, and then to a point to where he is now.
Absolutely. And I think it's a shame now when you hear Kermit Cintron talk about this fight, he's trying to imply that there was no way he was going to come out of this like with winning. So like I don't. He's not saying it was fixed, but he's saying some stupid bullshit. And it's like, well, I just wish there was like real people to put him to task and say like, what do you mean? Like you got your ass whooped, But he likes to stay in safe places, which is fine. If he wants to be bitter, that's fine. We know what happened in this fight. Let's move on.
Yeah,
Right, we're gonna go all the way to
exactly.
2015. Right, Canelo fights at 155 pounds to face Miguel Angel Cotto, who is the lineal reigning middleweight champion. And it's also for the vacant WBC champion belt, 155 pounds, mandated by Cotto. This
George's
fight,
boy.
I know. I'm glad he's not here because I didn't want him to think we were just like targeting poor Georgie, showing Miguel Cotto get beat. We know George privately thinks that fight was a draw, but we know better, don't we, Julian?
Yes, we do, Rick. And like I said, I mean, Cotto just showed age. That fight. Like I mean, Canelo went after him. Canelo put it on him. And it was just a certain point. When Cotto had to respect his power at that point. A younger fighter, hungrier fighter, and that's what won it for him.
Yeah.
Like he's just a hungrier kid, man. I mean, you saw it. From the point after he lost to Mayweather. I mean, it was just, what, I'm gonna go after it.
And good
And that's what
tactical
he did.
boxing too. It's a
Exactly.
fun fight. If you like boxing, you get to see like
That's when he used his jab. That's when he
yeah.
was using. That's when he was using his jab. A lot. And I really wish he would go back to that now. To set up what he has done in the past. Like I really feel I'll go to it later, but I mean that's what he did with James Kirkland.
You're totally right about that. I missed the combination punching. And yeah, we will talk about that because that's a great observation, man. Shout out to Clean Cut Stacks TV says King Canelo about to whoop Puerto Rican ass. Puro Mexico. Well, thanks for joining us, man. And
Agreed.
yeah, it's almost been 10 years since Canelo put hands on a Puerto Rican, and it's almost ass whipping time, right? It's almost time. I'm telling
And you
you.
know what? He's due for a knockout. I'm just putting it out there. He's due for a knockout, and that way people could just shut up for a little bit. For a little bit until next year comes or later on this year, whatever they want to do.
you
Not
know,
saying anything.
dude, I completely agree with that, dude. Canelo is due for a knockout, man. That's a great observation. And so that takes us right after this fight. Much later, dude. We're talking 9 years later. Canelo's still here. He's the reigning lineal Ring Magazine super middleweight champion of the world. Takes us to Canelo versus Berlanga, right? Now, this fight is, like I said, it's Mexico versus Puerto Rico. This one's going to count. Julian, what are your thoughts on this fight? Before we break it down, what are your thoughts on Berlanga being chosen as the opponent?
Personally as a fan, of Canelo, I didn't like it. That's just my point of view. I didn't like this fact, but the fact that, there's many other fighters that were clout chasing to get to the point, using his name, like he's ducking them, like Berlanga didn't, at that point. Berlanga just kept his mouth shut, to the point, okay, I'm gonna let the Canelo fight come to me, fuck it. And that's what happened. Matchroom made it happen for him. They got to the negotiations, they got it done. Berlanga's undefeated. I mean, they can't take away from what he did his first 20 fights, fucking 29 or the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Like goddamn. I mean, I understand the last few fights have been a little rough for him too, but I mean, as a learning curve, I mean, this is going to be a big learning curve for him, moving forward. I mean, of course, I don't see him winning the fight, but I really think after this fight, I mean, he will be, later on down the line. I mean, if he learns something that we've been wanting him to learn, his whole career, is just to fight, don't go for a knockout, but that's something that he's just not doing.
Mm.
And that's something that he probably won't do until he either switches trainers. Sorry, but but it's just an observation of mine too. Like as a trainer as well too. He's a hungry fighter, but it's just like Canelo going into a huge fight. With Mayweather. He gave Mayweather a little run. Mayweather couldn't end the kid, but Mayweather knew what he had in front of him, and that's what I mean. I'm pretty sure the same thing goes to Berlanga and Canelo right now. I mean, Berlanga knows what the hell he has in front of him, and he knows it's more of a task than anything else.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, man. And I want to take a look at the odds here real quick. So Canelo is an 18-1 favorite. Okay, so you bet $18 to win $1, or you could get 10-1 if you bet on Berlanga. If you want to throw away some money, put some money on Berlanga. And the thing is, if you were going to put money on Berlanga, you might as well take him by KO and get even higher odds. Okay, because that's the only way he could possibly win this fight, in my opinion. But that just shows you what a discrepancy is. It's a big discrepancy between this opponent and Edgar Berlanga and Canelo's past opponents, right? I haven't seen odds like this for a Canelo fight in a very long time. I want to give a shout out.
I mean, if you look at it that way, though, I mean, Berlanga's been down to less powerful opponents. His last few fights, he's hit the canvas. I mean, we can't say he hasn't. And I mean, we could say that about a bunch of other fighters that are in this position, that want to get Canelo. Like, are they ready for this spotlight?
That's a great point.
And they're not. And I feel, I mean, like going to like the David Benavidez situation, I just don't feel that kid is ready for it. He hasn't fought that elite talent, or even close to him. I mean, Caleb Plant gave him a run for his money, and he couldn't end him.
Right. Yeah.
But
on top of that, too,
it's just like going back to Edgar Berlanga. I mean, he still has a long way to go.
He sure does. He's not ready for this fight.
He's a big kid, though. He's a big dude, though.
He is a big kid, and that's one of his best strengths. Strong, big dude. You're right. Berlanga's not ready for this fight. If you ask me, it would have benefited him to possibly take another couple fights before going to the level of fighting somebody like Saul Canelo Alvarez. But then again, he might not have even gotten that far. He might have taken a loss against somebody like a Plant or somebody who could box. Now, we're going to talk about Berlanga's skill set here in just a little while. But as it pertains to Berlanga being the opponent, I understand where people are coming from. I didn't like this fight too in a way, but we learned that Benavidez' ribs were hurt. He was not able to fight in September, right? We heard that from, what's his name? Suleiman or Likowitz, right? We heard it from Likowitz, right? So people are saying, well, why didn't he fight? I mean, you know what? Canelo, besides Benavidez, who's moved out of the division and is injured, I think he's essentially cleaned out that division, bro. Like he's fought all the champions. He's fought people who've become top 5 multiple times. He did that with Ryder, did that with Munguia, right? Berlanga's top 10, and he's the most noteworthy opponent you could come up with in September. There's nobody who's a bigger draw. I've heard some people go like, oh, well, you should have fought in Billy. It's like, well, I marked when I first started hearing about him Billy because I'm like, oh, okay, this is the new boogeyman, okay?
Yeah, I like the kid. I do too. Billy. I love his skill set too, but like I said, the spotlight is a whole different story when it comes up against a dude like this.
Right. And before in Billy's last fight, right? Well, in his last fight, he looked a little vulnerable. But before that, I was hearing the hype like, oh, Canelo don't want no parts of him. I'm like, who the hell are these guys talking about? So I took a note. The first time I've heard about him, bro, is this year. So, I mean, you could make a case that, he should have fought in Billy, but nobody really cares about that opponent. I'm just saying. right?
There's
Just
no
like
money.
nobody.
There's no money in it. It's just like the skull fight. I mean, that's why
Exactly.
Canelo just said, "Fuck it, here, take the fight." I mean, you could take the IBF that night, and then whoever wins, I'll kick your ass next fight, or I'll let my number one contender kick your ass, and then I'll take that guy on. That's pretty much what's gonna happen. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Somebody's gonna go after the IBF in March, or so, April. A bigger name.
Yeah.
Maybe even Benavides to come down and try to snag it. But I'm just putting it out there.
Hey, man.
Nothing in stone, nothing in stone. I'm just saying maybe somebody will go in there to snag it. Andre Morale maybe. I mean David Morale. And you have like a lot of names. You have a lot of young talent coming up, man. But a lot of this young talent isn't ready for the storm that this dude possesses. And I mean he's been through every type of adversity. He's seen every type of style there is. So
Absolutely.
just because everybody sees a flat-footed fighter right now and a guy trying to knock you out is because he can. I mean, he could stand up toe to toe, and he's been hit by light heavyweights already. You're telling me this fucker can't go down, and you're telling me you're gonna knock him out? No, I don't know. Don't start with that shit.
Want to give a shout out to Mom Plant Food and Things and our brother from the Shoe Shine, Dave
Hey,
from the 702. What's happening, man? Hope you're well. Hope you enjoy fight week, brother. Dude, yeah. And the last thing I got to say, man, is like it's very easy to shit on this fight. I feel like people are really proud of themselves for shitting on this fight. It's very easy to do, right?
De La
Uh,
Hoya's being one of them.
oh, what a hater, bro. Canelo's,
Uh,
excuse me, De La Hoya is such a hater, bro.
that dude
Uh,
is freaking. If that dude attends a UFC event, he's just a disgrace to boxing.
yeah,
That's all I could say, bro. If you hate somebody that bad, bro, that you're not gonna attend a fight. Even Marquez freaking goes to these fights, and he doesn't even like this fool.
right.
Like he doesn't even like Canelo, bro, but he still attends. Like come on. I mean, even Barrera learned how to freaking respect Canelo right now. What he's doing, he do whatever the fuck he wants. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Right. And the last thing I got to say about people criticizing this fight, and it's, there's a little bit of a narrative going on in the YTBC about like, well, some people are, Canelo fans are allegedly saying like, well, what about this fighter? What about that fighter? You guys don't criticize them. Right. And then these people are going like, well, hey, that's not what we're talking about. Right. And I guess my point is like, I still haven't met anybody who's overly critical of the Canelo Berlanga fight who's consistent and keeping the same energy across the board. I've heard very poor arguments about why Inoue's opponents are justified, right? Or how
Hmm.
maybe like Tim Zoo's pay-per-view was justifiable, right? But this fight shouldn't be on pay-per-view. Like the box office draw shouldn't be on pay-per-view, and like one thing leads to another, and that equals it being a tune-up or not a tune-up if it's pay-per-view. I've heard some really weird logic. I think it's a shame. You know what I mean? I think
It
it's a
is.
shame. But it's okay. People are entitled to your opinion, but it's just very easy. Like it's very easy to kick the Canelo hive right now. And then we just get all worked up. So I mean, that's why we got a place like this where you can come and be a Canelo fan. It's all right, right, Julian?
Yeah, man. I mean, I expect. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, it's not gonna even do 100,000." It's like, dude, come on. You know how many Puerto Ricans and Mexicans are gonna buy this shit, especially here in the United States? Come on, man. I mean, I understand the streaming. I mean, streaming's huge, but this dude's still putting over 300,000 over pay-per-view. Come on, man. Like, get the fuck out of here too with that. This fight's gonna do, or this fight will do well over 350 for sure.
I'm hoping
I
so,
mean,
man.
I mean,
I'm
I
hoping
think it
so.
will. I think it will.
And I
I
think it
mean,
might do better than Canelo versus Munguia, to be honest. We'll
yeah,
see.
I do too. I do too. I do.
I think Berlanga's doing a good job selling the fight, man. And I like his self-belief. I like what his trainer's saying. I like what Berlanga's saying. I'm impressed, bro. Like I think that, they're coming to win. Like, yeah, they're going to get the bag and they're happy about that. But they're like thinking about like, oh, well, what if we win? If we win, oh shit, sky's the limit. We're really going to be making some money then. So like they're coming to win and they're coming to bang,
Hmm.
man. And I like that. And I want to give a shout out to Maestro All Boxing. Y'all got to subscribe to that guy, man.
Yep.
Great channel. It's my homie. All
Yep.
right. Now, dude, let's get into it. Let's
Damn
talk
good
about
subjects. I'll tell you that.
yeah, you said it, man. All right, let's talk about it, man. Let's get into some fight predictions, man. Like I want to talk about it. Georgie, how do you see this fight going?
Well, George
Oh,
isn't
so
here,
I'm
right?
sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm so
But
used to that. That's muscle memory.
yeah.
Julian, my brother Julian, how do you see this fight going?
No, it's what, bro. I mean, I feel Berlanga's gonna try to come out swinging, doing what he does all the time, trying to throw that right hand over the top. I just think Canelo's gonna keep finding a home for either left hook or uppercut all night. He's gonna be slamming that body too, to a certain point. I give this fight maybe 10 rounds, and Berlanga's going down within that time, either TKO or KO, and it's gonna be ugly, man. I'll tell you that. It's a very. I'm just calling it KO. I call it KO, and I feel James Kirkland style.
Ooh.
James Kirkland style. I mean, unless he wants to stand toe to toe, then he's gonna get cracked by a left hook, and he's gonna end up looking like Amir Khan. So I mean, it's gonna be a rough night. I mean, like I said, I see Berlanga coming swinging. The first couple rounds. Canelo usually starts off, but if Canelo finds his rhythm, I mean, early, which I think he will, because I mean, Berlanga's a sloppy fighter. Like, when I say that, it's like one of the worst in boxing. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, that's what I mean. I'm just saying that, but yeah, man, Berlanga's just too wide open. He loads up on everything. You can see it when he throws everything. He has a weak jab. He could get over that jab very easily too. And I really think too the overhand right's going to find a home a lot too in this fight for Canelo. I think it's really going to land a lot, and I think we're going to see Berlanga down at least 2 or 3 times before he goes actually down.
Nice, bro. Canelo's been utilizing the overhand right more. Like I feel like he used to have it. Then he started getting like not dependent, but kind of using other shots more. And I feel like that the overhand right starting to make more of a comeback with Canelo. Extremely versatile boxer, right? I love his left hand, but his overhand right is very impressive too. He said that might be his favorite punch. You touched on some really good things, Julian. Now, when I look at this fight, I do think that Berlanga is a strong guy, and I think he's got the right game plan. I think his coach has the right game plan, but I don't think Berlanga is going to be able to execute. Now, I saw like in Berlanga's last fight, he was trying to do like the squared circle thing and circle with the other boxer and try to like.
He can't. He just don't have the footwork. He's just too flat-footed.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you call Canelo flat-footed, but you look at this. This is a different level of flat foot. Like to where this dude, like if he moves, he's gonna be off balance anyway. I mean, I'm pretty sure Canelo knows that already. And a body attack from that point will. Like I think if Berlanga's moving to Canelo's right, which is Berlanga's left, and it's gonna be bad. Like he's gonna have to try to cut off, Canelo's freaking jab somehow. He's gonna have to try and cut off the body work. That's gonna hit him. That's gonna be coming at him. And Canelo's a counter puncher. If he's gonna throw 2 or 3 at you real quick, and he's gonna land one of those 2 or 3.
That's a great point, man. And that's the one thing I wanted to say. Like, Canelo is an excellent counter puncher. Like, I do think that Berlanga has certain things going for him. Okay. I think he is a physically strong guy. I think he's got power.
Definitely.
Okay. Also, we were talking about how Canelo doesn't throw combinations. Like, I went and I watched a bit of Berlanga's opponents. Like, and keep in mind, this is a much lower level quality of opposition, right? But Berlanga could throw punches together, man. He throws combos. Okay. He sets up his right hand with his left. And he's a stalker. He's a predator. That's his natural style. Now, I heard Berlanga's coach say stuff along the lines of like, well, hey, Canelo only punches when you're right in front of him, right? So don't be right in front of him. Work the angles, right? And I think that's easy to say. Like, yeah, sure, don't be on a straight line with Canelo. Like, sure, I guess that makes sense, right? But Berlanga, to me, is best at punching when he's also in a straight line. So I don't think he's all of a sudden going to be able to like fight like these, because people always say Canelo's got a problem with people who are on the back foot or, awkward or southpaw or whatever. Like, you can't turn Berlanga into any of that, really. He's a front foot stalker fighter with power. That's what he does. Like, you're not going to change this up at this level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He can't. I mean, he's already 20-some fights deep in to this game, and you can't really. I mean, if you haven't changed this within that time, I mean, you're going to keep doing the same thing the rest of your career.
Right. And to me, when you look at Berlanga's level of opposition, like they were all kind of like, I watched a lot of his fights. They were all kind of like Sandor Martin style type of fighters, like Irish, whatever, just dudes who are just like, I don't want to say European, but, on the back foot, trying to be awkward and trying to survive. Like, he's got nothing to compare like a Canelo fight to at all. Like, and I sure didn't have anything like that. Like with Canelo fight, well, I could look at people who are powerful. I could look at people who are tall. I could look at people who are strong, right? But then when you look at Berlanga's level of opposition, like I don't know any of these dudes, man. Yeah, and now you're going to go in there and fight Canelo? Like, come on, man. Like, first off, like you've never been punched like that. You've never fought an aggressive counter puncher. You never fought anybody with power. You never fought anybody who's gone to the body. You never fought anybody with good defense, a good overhand right, good upper. You never fought anybody close to this level, right? So okay, say you were Berlanga's coach, okay? Like, what would you go tell him to do? Like, what would be your game plan?
You know what, man? I'll tell him, you know what? Use your jab. Use your jab. You're not gonna knock this fucking dude out. You need to box this son of a bitch. You know, you need to box him, bro. Freaking, I'll tell him that straight up. I mean, because like I said, Kovalev couldn't do it. Triple G couldn't do it. Freaking, I mean, he's been cracked by some good ones, bro. And it's like those shots would have took somebody else out. You know, and I just, yeah, man. I mean, to him, he just needs to stay away. He needs to stay at distance. If he don't stay at distance, this Canelo get inside, bro. I mean, it's just ball game. It's just a
Well,
ball game.
dude, get this. I was watching a Berlanga interview on the Zone, right? And Julian, this dude was saying, right, that well, Kovalev wasn't the same, so I'm more powerful than him. And hey, Triple G strong too. Don't get me wrong, but I got more power than him. It's different at 168. He's alleging that he's the most powerful puncher that Canelo's ever faced. What do you think about that?
You're full of shit. You're full of shit, bro. I mean, he's been hit by some freaking hammers before. Yeah, everybody acts like he's never faced nobody. I mean, everybody's bigger than this fucking dude. And the Canelo's literally looking up at everybody. I mean, look at the size difference in the picture right now.
Right.
Freaking, like, come on, look at them face to face. I mean, have you ever seen Canelo stand in front of somebody other than Floyd Mayweather? You know that he's not freaking pretty much face to face to? Fuck no. I mean,
You're right. He's a
Canelo's
small
only fighting
guy.
them. Yeah, he's only 5'8", bro. I mean, come on, everybody acts like he's some giant. The dude came up from 147. He went all the way up to 175, and that's like the dude has to go up to heavyweight now to go fight Usyk.
Dude,
Come
you're right
on,
about
man.
that, dude. Some people want to go like, well, Canelo's just so damn stocky, right? But it's like, dude, if you saw a picture of him next to Ryder at the weigh-in, like, dude, Ryder's just stockier than him in all aspects in general. Like, Canelo's not like this huge guy. Yeah, he's stocky and he's strong, but people are
And
making it seem like he's like this little Barry Bonds type, I don't know, just super jacked, like little dude, or whatever. I don't know.
hey, bro, and seeing Ryder in person, fuck, dude, that dude is huge, bro, in person. Like
Is
when
he?
you're up close to him, while at the fight we went to,
Mm-hmm.
bro, like I'm just like, bro, you're fucking big. Like he's
Yeah.
a big guy, bro. Like he's just a like everybody thinks, Ryder's like, okay, yeah, he has what 6, 7 losses, but dude, that dude is amazingly huge, bro. Like he's a big guy. He's bigger than Berlanga, I'll tell you that.
Mm.
Like freaking about like mass wise, freaking he's thick. He's a thick dude, man.
Dave here says that Canelo said it was James Kirkland. He thought it could end bad if he didn't KO him quick. Well, that's the other thing. Like, I'd be very interested to see what would happen if a firefight started early. Like, I think Berlanga might not have a choice, but to go toe to toe with him at some point.
He has to. He's gonna
He
have
has
to.
to.
Yeah. He's gonna
Yeah.
have to either. He's gonna have to do it if he can't create a distance. And he's gonna have to figure out, hey, I'm just gonna have to fucking go out of my fucking shield, bro. If I fucking get caught, I get caught. And that's gonna happen within the middle rounds, bro. I guarantee you. Like he's gonna get to a point where he's gonna like, fuck, I have to. And at that point, I think too, he's gonna get knocked down. He'll be knocked down before the fifth round. Like he'll touch the canvas by that time. At that point, and that's what I'm saying. Like I don't give it 10 rounds. I'll give it 10 rounds at the most, but I don't see it honestly, bro. Like I'd see it ending before 8, bro.
Yep. Berlanga, he's a little chinny, man. I think we all think that.
I think he
And
is. I
I
mean,
think
that
he
left
is too.
that's what I said. The left hook and the overhand right are gonna find a home, or that uppercut. Or if Canelo gets inside, that uppercut is gonna be ugly.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Well, this fight is 1 week away, man. It's just a
almost
matter of
there.
days. Yep. And
6
September
days.
14th. Yep. Now, this is Mexican Independence Day. We always have a Mexican fight. If it usually, I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen because of, I don't know, dumb little things, right? But typically speaking, that's a Mexican fight date, right? Mayweather had it for a while, but before that it was De La Hoya and it was Canelo. Sometimes Canelo can't fight on that day, but typically we know Canelo fights May and September, right? Now, this September, he happens to be going up against UFC. UFC's doing UFC Noche at the Sphere September 14th. So both of these fights are going to be in Vegas. Julian, what are your initial thoughts about this?
You know what? I mean, it's the beginning of the year. Dana White had already said, he rented out the Sphere right away. He had already heard Canelo wanted it, for that event, So, what Canelo do? Canelo just does what he does. Waits, if he can announce his fight against Berlanga, Puerto Rico versus Mexico on the same night, of what's supposed to be a lot of Mexicans going at it in UFC, but not a lot of huge names. You know, I mean, I understand Alexa Grayso's in there. You know, Shane O'Malley's in there. You know, you have other fighters in there, but a lot of these, a lot of the UFC people, like people don't know. People know who the fuck Canelo is. People know who Canelo is, you know, and people know everybody. This undercard's not no joke either, though. The undercard's pretty good for the boxing. Like I really give it. I really like the undercard, you know, especially who's on it. There's some pretty good names on there, especially the co-main too. It's gonna be pretty good.
Dude, I think so too, bro. I hear people shitting on the undercard, but bro, I think the undercard's not bad. Actually, that's just me. I think it's great. I'll be watching, man.
I think it's very good. That's worth paying for, you know. But like you're seeing like other cards that are showcases, hell no. You know, PBC doesn't throw that kind of shit. You know, like they've been throwing some good cards, but a lot of these have been showcases of robberies. Am I? Stop me when I'm wrong, but
no, dude,
you know,
you're not wrong, man.
You know, but I mean, UFC going up against Canelo has ended badly for UFC the last 3 years. They're about to make it 4 years. They're already having problems. They're already creating chaos over there too. You know, with sales. You know, already causing them over the $20 million in sales already. You know, having to lower prices, having to freaking give free tickets away. Canelo's were pretty much sold out almost. You know, and you know what does that say? What does that say about it? I mean, pay-per-view is it's always gonna go to Canelo on this day, bro.
Yeah,
he's the face. I mean, people don't like it. People don't want to hear it. People don't want to believe it. But Canelo is the face of combat sports.
damn.
He is the face of combat sports. If I had to put another one out there, maybe John Jones. You know,
Yeah,
freaking that's UFC. You know, but as of combat sports, who do you hear about more?
that's a great
Canelo,
point.
right?
You're right.
Canelo, right? Canelo,
Mm-hmm.
right? Canelo's mentioned in everything. UFC fighters, oh, I want to fight Canelo. I can knock him out. I want to do this and that. Why? Because they know this dude brings the bag.
Yeah,
They know he
dude.
brings the bag, and people like this gentleman right here, people like Dana White, just don't like Canelo either. I mean, they watch these fights. They still watch their fights. I mean, you see Dana White at events, at UFC events, watching Canelo fights in the front row right there. I mean, you can't tell me if De La Hoya goes to that fight this weekend, he's not going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, this whole thing's weird to me, bro. Like, I feel like I don't know, man. Like the way Turkey, right, and Dana White, they seem almost offended that Canelo would fight in September. Like, oh no, we got it first, right? Now here's this quote: Turk, we will eat him as in saying that as far as like Canelo going on the same date as UFC, like we're gonna eat him, like we're gonna take up that space. No, it didn't work out that way. It's two different sports, and I think you're right, Julian. Canelo is a big face of combat sports, if not the face, and all my UFC friends, right? They all respect Canelo, and they'll watch a Canelo fight if it doesn't impede on their watching a big UFC card. They'll watch it. They appreciate Canelo and what he does, and they've also been fans for years of Canelo. Canelo's been around for such a long time. If they've been around UFC for a long time, they know who Canelo is, right? Just like I think, like you said, like a lot of people might know who John Jones is or Conor McGregor, right? But Canelo's still on top, right? So they'll watch a Canelo fight, no doubt about it, right?
It's funny too. A lot of the time, Canelo's waiting for the UFC event to end. What does that force a lot of people to do?
Switch over.
I gotta switch over now. I gotta watch this now, or I gotta buy it real quick. Fuck. Or if you stream it, I mean, you're still streaming. You're still making money for this food. Everything that gets stolen, you're still making money for these motherfuckers. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how it goes. It's just how it goes in this game, bro. But like people like Dana White and De La Hoya, bro, I mean, trying to team up, and Turkey trying to team up, just because of petty shit, because, yeah, Canelo left you, and yes, freaking Canelo didn't want to talk to you, and yes, Canelo always goes up against you. Like that's just the three reasons between all three men right there.
Dude, you're right, man. So Dana White here says the guys at the MGM have done nothing but disrespect me in the UFC for 20 years. Dana White is not happy with Canelo Alvarez having a fight at the T-Mobile Arena on the same night. To me, it's ridiculous that they would feel so disrespected. We're gonna see what happens here, Julian. But I'll tell you this, man. I think Canelo did the right thing. Obviously, boxing fans are going to go there to see Canelo, and this is a big fight, whether people want to think so or not. This is going to be a great fight to watch. it's going to have that big fight feel. It's going to have that rivalry feel. And I'm personally going to be satisfied when Edgar Berlanga gets knocked out. I mean, haven't we all
Yeah.
wanted to see him get his ass whipped? I know I have,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been saying too. I'm ready for it, bro. Like I'm ready for it, bro. And it's gonna knock out the UFC noche too, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I mean, it's gonna knock that thing out, and it's just gonna be better. Should be a better night for combat sports. You know, I think boxing is gonna be good that night. I mean, yes, I respect the card, everybody on that card, the UFC card, you know, but you just don't do it against a guy that's actually been doing it, you know, for years and years and years.
Oh yeah. All right, man. Let's close with this. Where do you want to see Canelo go from here, bro? All right. So
Uh,
assuming Canelo gets past Berlanga, and we assume that he will, Julian, what do you think is going to happen next, man?
you know what? I think if I think depending on how badly whomever wins the Beterbiev Bivol fight, like I really do think if I really think Beterbiev is gonna win this fight, and I think once that happens, I think that's when Canelo's really gonna go after Bivol at his weak point, and he's gonna beat Bivol. He'll go Bivol next year again, and then I think just he'll end that at 175, man. I think he'll end his career at 175 possibly because there's nobody else at 168 after next year.
I've been hearing
You
that a
know?
lot, bro. A lot of people have been saying that yeah, he might face Bivol if Bivol beats Beterbiev. There's been talk of that, bro.
And you know it's funny though too because they do have a rematch clause, but Canelo has WBC rights
Hmm.
to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Good. Plus Beterbiev gets injured all the damn time anyways. He probably
Yeah,
wouldn't be ready for any type of immediate rematch.
yeah, exactly. You know, and that's exactly what I'm getting to as well. You know, especially depending on how the outcome comes in that fight. You know, I mean, yeah, Bivol could box, but has Bivol really been hit by hammers? You
Right.
know, but we have but both of them have seen the canvas too,
Right.
and both of them have seen the canvas as well too. You know, but it's just to me, I just feel just Bitterbeer just the Russian wolf, bro. That guy's a freaking animal, bro. Like that's one dude that's I think nobody was gonna touch for a while, even though he's older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's that dude's just he's at this point right now because he kept himself away from like big time harm, you know, in his fights, you know. And you know, his last few fights, yes, he's been in some battles. You know, he got cracked, well, he got cheated when he got headbutted, but
Mm-hmm.
so freaking one of those, you know, and you know, but I just feel that's how I just think he's gonna end his career at 175. You know, and if he doesn't, he's gonna probably force a catch weight, maybe 172, 171, maybe. You know, with somebody, maybe a bigger fighter. You know, and
People will lose their shit if he does that.
yeah, you know, and I think that's something that Dave Benavidez would do though.
Okay, so possibly a Benavidez fight. All right.
Hmm.
Okay, if it were up to me, bro, this is just me. I would love to see him take like a December fight. He's been talking about fighting maybe in December, right? I say
I don't
take.
want to see that butt fight though.
You don't want to
That's
see it. That's where I was going. I want to see that, but you don't want to
no,
see it.
no, it's just no. Then everybody just gives everybody another reason just to talk more shit when he kicks his ass too. You know,
They're
like
gonna
it
talk
just
shit anyways, man. That's my
yeah, no,
thing.
no, no. I understand that, but I mean, yeah, that would be his best bet. But TC's not. We saw what happened his last fight. He can't withstand a storm that this dude will produce to him either. I mean, I understand TC's a boxer, great boxer at that, you know, but he's yeah, bro. Like there's weight classes for a reason. I've been saying this for years and years and years.
Right.
You know, and Canelo did the same thing. You know, I understand he wasn't that full 100% though that fight. What people have to understand as well.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
people need to understand that shit too. Yeah, if people say use that as an excuse. No, it's not an excuse. It's a fact. It's got shown. It got proven. It was proven. It was everything was there.
Yeah.
You
And you
know
could
what
see
have?
it too. You could see it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when he took off his glove too. I mean, he freaking couldn't even take his wraps off. You
Yeah.
know, because that's how messed up his hand was. But hey, I mean, that's not an excuse. He still took an ass kicking that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, just 175. I think is I'm just gonna I may see actually catch weight 172, 171. I see him just ending his career at. You know, with and because I don't think Benavidez is gonna last very long at 175. Like I really don't. He don't have that. He's just lanky. He's a lanky kid, man. He don't have that charisma.
If he
dude.
can, he should try. If he can, he should try to go back down to 168. Because you're right, at
He,
175,
he,
I don't see him lasting, bro.
yeah, me neither. I mean, he should go back down to 168. They say he can make 168. I feel he can. I feel he just drains the shit out of himself. I really do. I really just feel he just drains too much of himself. Yeah, he can make the weight, but at what cost to him? And I'm looking out for the kid, man. I mean, I'm not saying that because I'm a hater, David Benavidez. I'm looking out for that fucking kid because I don't want to see this kid get done what Mayweather did to Canelo.
Right.
Like that's exactly what's gonna happen, but it might be worse. And people don't want to hear that. People are gonna be, oh, why are you full of shit? And they're gonna, oh no, like that. He will end David Benavidez's career, bro, that night.
Well,
Like I'm,
I've always wanted to see the fight,
I'm
man.
sorry,
I've
like
always
I'm
wanted to see the
sorry.
fight. I'm down. Like that's the thing. Like,
Me too. I want
this.
to see that fight too. I mean, I've been wanting to see it, and I've always said it too. I mean, maybe done a bit. Maybe David would be the guy, to finally challenge, Canelo.
Right.
Maybe to give him that run. Yeah, the name keep, but like I said, I mean, the talking, the lying, the truth came out and everything, man. I mean, truth
Right.
comes out in this game. This is a small world. I mean, boxing's a huge world, but it's a small world, and when you have like certain sources around you too. You see background, you hear background shit. Yes, there's a lot of people that just clout chase for hating and shit like that
Hmm.
too. But you hear a lot of things, man. And some of these sources, you know who to believe or you know who not to.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And so, dude, yeah, I'm down to see these fights, bro. And as far as like Canelo versus Benavidez, there's been this like, first of all, like I feel like there's a lot of like fair weather Benavidez fans. They've all gone into witness protection ever since he looked normal in his last fight, right? But
Yep,
these guys, they're just more like Canelo haters, anyways, bro. They're just like
that's all it is,
anti
son.
Canelo
That's
fanboy type
all it
dudes.
is.
I've not seen any Benavidez fans still talking shit, right? They've gone away, right? And here's the thing, like they like to imply like Canelo's scared. They're just like the Charlo fans, right? And then like the Charlo fans are like, oh well, Canelo only beat him when he brought him up, right? But it's like, dude, we've been saying that Canelo beats the Charlos since 154. This fight just happened to happen at that point, right? And it's just like this. Like I've always said, well, Canelo beats Benavidez. I do think that this fight would have benefited Benavidez just a little bit more if it happened like a year ago,
Yeah.
but now like it's just going to be even worse for Benavidez, even though Canelo's getting older. I think that,
Yeah, it's just experience, bro. It's gonna keep
yeah,
going. It's just gonna get better for Canelo. I mean, he gets old. I mean, I understand people age. Can't beat Father Time at
right,
all. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, well, Mayweather did it." Mayweather didn't fight. Mayweather never took a risk in his career. That's I'm just gonna put that out there too. He never took a risk. This dude did, and that's what people hate on too. Like this dude took risks at 147, 154, 160, 168, 175. Won championships in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
and it's like you said, bro. Like it's not
Yeah.
easy just to jump up in weight classes and just do it. No,
It's not, and
a
it
lot of
took
people don't
him
make it
time.
that
It's
far.
yeah, it took him time. And like people, that's what I'm saying too. Like, kind of pisses me off. People, oh, well, Terrence Crawford could do this. Dude, like, it took Canelo what 2 years, 3 years to get to the 168 level. Till he actually fought at 168 legitimately and comfortably.
Right.
And they were expecting Terrence Crawford because he's a boxer. Oh well, he can come up from 147 and do the same thing. No, you fucking can't, bro. Like you're older. I mean, I don't give that. I mean, as an excuse, but you haven't faced that storm. Like especially too being Canelo knows how to break down a fighter like that. I mean, I understand people say he has trouble with boxers, but I don't see it like that. It's just every boxer has a bad night.
Right.
Everybody is sparring and freaking. Some people don't look good in some nights. I mean, that goes even like to Benavidez. I mean, he didn't look too good last fight. Maybe he'll look better his next fight.
That's possible.
You, you know,
I'd like to see him
and
face like a higher level
me
175
too.
pounder.
Me too, but
He
somebody
won't. He
like
probably won't.
yeah,
You know
yeah, but
this.
somebody like a Vodic, I mean, he should have really put that dude down. But it showed his, like I said, it showed his conditioning level after 5 rounds.
Right.
He's not the same person after 5 rounds. He literally has to end you before 6
Mm-hmm.
to like freaking save himself. And that's like I said, not an excuse either for. I mean, for the opposition he faces, that's just what Heyman boxing does, baby.
I
Uh,
hear you.
you know, But yeah, man. I mean, that's just how I see it, man. Just I think he's just gonna 175 or once, like I said, catch weight 172 and call it a career, man. I give him about 2 years, bro, 3 years, and we're gonna see the end of Canelo and probably the end of boxing for a little bit.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think if UFC wanted to move in on those May and September dates, like you do it after Canelo is retired or on the real decline. But because then after that, dude, who's there to take over as being the torchbearer for boxing, bro? I don't really see anybody, right? Even Bradley said that recently. Like, dude, like after Tank and Canelo, right? There's really nobody there. Like, I think
Why not even Tank, bro? I mean,
I agree. Not even Tank,
Tank. I
but
mean,
that's what
not
he
even
said.
Tank. Like, not even Tank speaking at that level, bro. I mean, yeah, because everybody's going after the Ryan Garcia fight. Like, dude, like, it, do you see everything else that happened before that? Do you see what
Yeah.
happened in his last fight with the huge card? Like, come on, man. Like, just everybody just has to put their foot down, at one point, and put some respect, like we had to do with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Like we had to do the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. We hated the son of a bitch, bro, but that fucker's defense was fucking immaculate, bro.
Yes.
Like that defense, bro, was like that was something, bro, that I can't like. I've never seen a fighter, bro. I mean, I loved him. I mean, he was Pretty Boy Floyd, bro. He was my boy, bro. Like he was my fucking boy, bro. And once he changed the money man and started taking the route, that everybody's accusing Canelo of taking now, and it's the same thing. I mean, give him his flowers too. I mean, he's already done what he's needed to do.
Absolutely. There'd be very few fights I could add to his legacy at this point. I think a Bivol win could possibly do it. I think a Benavidez win maybe would shut
I,
people up. But I think it's just going to be. I don't even know if it would be like a top 8 win for Canelo. That
it
at
wouldn't.
right now, unless it
No.
ages well. I think that Munguia win could age well, bro. Actually,
I really do think if Peter Beef does win and that kind of dismantles Bivol, I think if he goes up and faces a Peter Beef and beats a Peter Beef, like, bro, that'll fucking set off. Man, that's sad, bro. I think that'll set off a fucking atomic bomb, bro. Like for his legacy as the greatest boxer to go take out a fucking dude like that. I mean, I could see it happening at that point.
yeah,
Well, both, I mean, Canelo being in his mid 30s by then, and Peter Beer probably being 40 maybe at
yeah,
that point. And people will probably blame the age for it, but hey, Peter Beer, like I said, he still takes care of himself, man. It's like everybody acts like this dude don't run 10 miles a day. Everybody acts like this dude don't fucking train outside with bears. you know, Fucking dude, bro. I mean, he's a Russian, bro. These Russian dudes are fucking strong as they come, bro. They're like Mexicans.
yeah.
They're fucking Mexicans, bro. That's what I compare Russians to. And Irish dudes, they're fucking compared to fucking Mexicans in my book, bro.
I
They
hear that, man.
fucking Yeah, they got some fucking balls. They got balls, dog. But like I said, I mean, I'll be a cool fight. I mean, but like I said, I don't know if Canelo's willing to take that as like a to end my career type fight. It would be cool to see. And yes, I want to see the Benavidez fight. That way everybody shut up, of course. But like I said, it'll come. Only time can tell us what's gonna happen with this guy.
Yeah, well, either way, it's been fun to watch all along this way, dude. It's been a fun ride, bro. And hey, we're still appreciating him. Like you said, not too many fights left, bro. But as of right now, Canelo's still the man at 168, period. And this train keeps rolling along, man. Any final thoughts, Julian?
No, just everybody just support boxing. I mean, support combat sports. Period. I mean, this is what gets these guys. excuse me. This is what gets these guys paid, of course. I mean, a lot of people understand the hates out there, for, Canelo, for certain fighters, UFC and boxing, vice versa, but support these dudes, man. This is how a lot of these kids get paid. I mean, a lot of the undercard guys depend on us buying these events to actually get them paid, get them viewership, help them as an entrepreneur, for to get themselves out there.
Yep.
And I just, yeah, man, just continue just to support it, man. Just support combat sports. I mean, yeah, I mean, I understand some people can't afford even these prices. I understand $90 a little round, but hey, maybe gather up some friends. Gather up some friends, $10 a piece, $5, whatever you want to do. Just grab some beer and watch some fights.
Good call, man. All right, everybody, enjoy the fights, dude. We'll see you on the other side. Take care.
Heck yeah, baby. See everybody.